Tom Cruise isn't just famous, he's protected. Behind every role, smile, and headline stands a powerful system, a network that built, defended, and weaponized his image. This is the story of how one man became untouchable in Hollywood. Tom Cruise did not stumble into stardom by accident. His rise began long before audiences saw him sprint across rooftops or pilot fighter jets. It began quietly, strategically, behind closed doors, with powerful people deciding he would be the next face of American cinema. In the late 1970s, Hollywood was desperate for new icons. The old leading men were fading. Action cinema was evolving. Studios wanted someone young, clean-cut, disciplined, and relentlessly ambitious. Tom Cruise fit this blueprint almost too perfectly. He was not born into wealth or industry connections. He was born in Syracuse, New York, to a working-class family. He experienced instability early in life, moving from place to place, surviving a difficult childhood, but those hardships forged a determination that made him stand out. When Tom first arrived in Los Angeles, he wasn't just another aspiring actor. People noticed something different. He had a sharp focus, an almost military level of discipline, and a burning hunger to succeed. He studied acting like it was a mission. He kept his personal life tightly controlled. He was young, handsome, and marketable. Everything agencies wanted. Then came the moment that changed everything: his signing with Creative Artists Agency. In the early 1980s, CAA wasn't just another talent agency. It was the most powerful force in Hollywood. Its founder, Michael Ovitz, had created an empire that controlled casting, negotiations, and careers. If CAA wanted someone to be a star, that person became a star. Tom's team at CAA saw potential beyond a few acting gigs. They saw a brand. They positioned him strategically, securing auditions and deals that would place him in front of major directors. This led to a breakout role in Risky Business in 1983. The movie became a cultural moment, and Tom became a household name overnight. But it didn't happen organically. Behind the scenes, CAA was making calls, negotiating press coverage, and carefully shaping his narrative. Reporters were granted access, but only under strict conditions. Publicists controlled what could and couldn't be asked. If journalists pushed too hard, they lost access. Then came Top Gun in 1986. The film wasn't just a movie, it was a national event. The US military collaborated with Paramount Pictures to make it. CAA helped secure Tom the lead role, knowing it would elevate him into superstardom. The movie made more than $350 million worldwide and transformed him into a symbol of American heroism. This was the beginning of the network. Studios, agencies, and the military establishment benefited from Tom's clean image and box office draw. He wasn't just a star, he was an investment. In the years that followed, Tom's roles were selected with surgical precision. He played confident, driven men, characters audiences admired or wanted to be. Publicists carefully filtered interviews. Magazine covers portrayed him as charming and disciplined. No scandals, no chaos, just the perfect leading man. But what made his rise unique wasn't just agency backing, it was how thoroughly they built control. Tom wasn't allowed to be ordinary. Every move he made was tracked, calculated, and aligned with a larger plan. That plan was simple: build a legend, not just a career. This calculated engineering of Tom Cruise's image would soon connect to even more powerful forces. Hollywood's golden machinery was only step one. The next phase would bring in a new player, a controversial organization that would guard his image like a fortress. By the late 1980s, Tom Cruise was not just another star, he was Hollywood's golden child. His movies made studios millions. His face sold tickets globally, and his behavior matched the carefully crafted image that agencies had built. But it wasn't just talent, it was precision. After Top Gun, Tom became the go-to actor for leading roles that demanded charisma and intensity. He wasn't typecast. Instead, he was strategically diversified. He played a fighter pilot, a pool hustler in The Color of Money, a Vietnam veteran in Born on the 4th of July, and a slick lawyer in A Few Good Men. Each role built layers of his public identity. Strong, intense, idealistic, Hollywood treated Tom like a golden goose. He was reliable. He didn't party recklessly, didn't get arrested, didn't draw the wrong headlines. Studios loved control, and Tom was a dream asset. Behind him was an army of agents, managers, publicists, lawyers, and studio executives making sure the image remained intact. During this time, CAA had unprecedented power. They didn't just represent talent, They controlled deals between studios and stars. If Tom wanted a role, CAA could make it happen. If a director hesitated, pressure followed. Studio heads didn't want to lose access to their top star. Deals were signed before other actors even auditioned. Tom was also becoming media royalty. His interviews were choreographed like performances. He gave charm, smiles, and rehearsed sincerity. Talk shows loved him because he brought ratings. Magazines loved him because he looked perfect on covers. Audiences loved him because they saw no cracks. But what outsiders didn't see was how protected he already was. Every major publication that covered him operated under strict agreements. If they crossed certain lines, their access to Tom and often other CAA stars disappeared. Few dared to challenge that system. This golden era also positioned Tom as one of the few actors who had leverage over entire productions. He negotiated creative control, production credits, and back-end profits. That's how he transitioned from just an actor to a power figure in Hollywood. The idea of Tom Cruise wasn't just to make him famous, it was to make him untouchable. This was carefully designed, and just as his career reached its peak, a new force entered the picture that would redefine everything: Church of Scientology. Hollywood was powerful, but Scientology had something even more dangerous: loyalty. Tom Cruise's relationship with Church of Scientology changed the shape of his career and his power. In the late 1980s, he was introduced to the church through his first wife, Mimi Rogers, who was already a member. What began as spiritual curiosity evolved into a deep, decades-long bond that would turn him into the most famous face of the organization. Scientology, founded by L. Ron Hubbard, was more than a religion. It was a system of influence, protection, and control. It had its own intelligence division, strict loyalty structures, and aggressive methods of dealing with critics. And when Tom Cruise became their star, the church gave him its full force of support. The church's leadership, especially David Miscavige, saw Tom as their golden asset. Through him, they could reach global audiences, attract new members, and legitimize their controversial image. In exchange, they offered him unwavering loyalty, privacy, and power. Tom's rise in Scientology coincided with his rise in Hollywood power. Scientology provided him with a protected inner circle, personal assistants loyal to the church, and resources most actors never had. Stories from former insiders describe how the church allegedly assigned members to handle Tom's personal life, from household tasks to private projects. This relationship also gave Tom something rare: leverage. He wasn't just an actor protected by studios. He had an entire organization ready to defend him against bad press, critics, and even personal enemies. Negative stories about Tom or the church often mysteriously disappeared before publication. Journalists faced legal threats. Sources went silent. This era also marked the beginning of Tom's close personal friendship with Miscavige. Their bond became a symbol inside Scientology. Miscavige attended his wedding. The church built facilities and hosted celebrations just for Tom. He was not a member, he was their chosen one. Critics began whispering about how Scientology's protection gave him more power than any actor in Hollywood. If a director clashed with him, they risked more than just a bad working relationship. If a journalist crossed a line, legal teams moved quickly. Scientology's notorious tactics of silencing critics worked as a shield around him. At the same time, Tom became more vocal about the church, appearing in internal videos praising its teachings. This made him both untouchable to some and controversial to others, but controversy didn't hurt him the way it hurt others, because the network was too strong. Scientology didn't just protect Tom, it built a second fortress around his image. Studios had the first, Scientology added the second. Tom Cruise's career is a masterclass in image control. From his early days to his global fame, every headline, interview, and photograph has been carefully managed. Nothing about his public image is accidental. His PR teams have always been elite, carefully chosen by both his agency and his inner circle. Every movie press tour was scripted like a performance. Interviewers were given guidelines. Questions about his personal life, Scientology, or controversies were off limits. If they broke those rules, access was cut off permanently. The turning point came in 2005 during the infamous The Oprah Winfrey Show couch jumping moment, when Tom passionately declared his love for Katie Holmes. Many thought his image would crack then, but the machine went into overdrive. Damage control strategies were launched immediately, stories were buried, appearances were controlled, and interviews were reframed. Another example came during his public clash with Matt Lauer on Today about psychiatry. Critics predicted this would damage his career, but within months the network pivoted. New roles, major film campaigns, and press strategies brought him right back on top. Unlike many celebrities who burn out under bad press, Tom's system absorbs it, reshapes it, and launches something bigger to overshadow it. His 2006 wedding to Katie Holmes became a media spectacle that dominated headlines worldwide. The same year, Mission Impossible 3 made huge profits. Behind these moves was a team that combined the power of studios, Scientology, PR experts, and lawyers. They didn't just react to stories, they controlled the environment around him. Few stars in history have had this level of control. Even his physical image is part of the strategy. His fitness, smile, stunts, and clean public life project invincibility. No scandals involving drugs, arrests, or violence have ever attached to his name publicly. A rarity in Hollywood, his image wasn't just built, it was defended like a brand. Behind Tom Cruise's success lies a series of invisible deals. Not the kind written about in tabloids, the real deals that shape Hollywood careers. These are meetings held in private offices, handshake agreements, loyalty trades, and power exchanges. Tom's relationship with Paramount Pictures is a prime example. His collaboration with the studio, especially on the Mission Impossible franchise, has been one of the most profitable in history. But this wasn't just about movies, it was about ownership, control, and leverage. Tom co-produced and later controlled the creative direction of the franchise, turning it into a global phenomenon. Deals with directors also followed this pattern. Many worked with Tom not just because of his acting, but because of what came with him: funding, marketing power, and guaranteed box office. He could open doors that other actors couldn't. There's also the matter of media influence. Over the years, Tom's team has maintained strong relationships with major entertainment outlets. Publications that played nice got exclusive interviews and access. Those that didn't often found doors quietly closed. And then there's Scientology's role. Several insiders and journalists have reported that Scientology's influence sometimes reached into Tom's business dealings, providing quiet support, loyal staff, or pressure when needed. All these invisible deals built a world where Tom Cruise didn't just work in Hollywood, he commanded a corner of it. Tom Cruise lives inside a fortress, not made of walls, but of power. This fortress has three pillars: Hollywood, Scientology, and controlled media. Together, they've shielded him from what destroys most celebrities: scandal, aging out, and industry backlash. Most actors fade with time. Tom didn't. Even in his 60s, he headlines billion-dollar franchises. Studios still see him as a safe bet. Part of this is his dedication to stunts and discipline, but the bigger reason is the fortress. It's a network of influence that keeps him relevant. His long-standing collaboration with Paramount Pictures and producers guarantees constant exposure. Scientology ensures unwavering personal loyalty. PR teams keep his image spotless. Media organizations that benefit from his exclusives rarely challenge him aggressively. The fortress also extends into his private life. Former staff members have spoken about layers of security, controlled access, and filtered communication. Everything that reaches Tom is pre-screened. Every person near him is carefully vetted. This fortress isn't just about protecting his career, it's about protecting the myth of Tom Cruise. But every fortress has a cost. For Tom Cruise, the protection that keeps him untouchable also isolates him. He lives in a world where very few people can tell him no. His inner circle is tight and loyalty is demanded. Many of his personal relationships have been shaped or strained by this machine. Marriages have been closely followed by the media. Friendships have reportedly been influenced by Scientology. His privacy is both guarded and controlled. There's also the cost of controversy. His connection with Scientology has made him one of the most criticized figures in Hollywood. Many see him as protected, others see him as complicit in a system larger than himself. And yet, the network holds, because at the center of all this power is a man who knows exactly how to play the system. Tom Cruise isn't just famous, he's a symbol of how fame can be engineered, maintained, and defended. Tom Cruise's career is no accident. Behind the star stands a fortress of power, built by Hollywood, enforced by Scientology, and polished by PR. This isn't just a story of fame, it's a story of control.